Peace. Good morning, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. I would just like to say thank you, and I appreciate you, like always, just for being here. We're alive and we're well. For those who have the ability to see me, and I can see you, morning. So if I can say good morning to you, you can in return say good morning to me. Peace. Good morning, Miss Anderson. Good morning to you. And for everyone that is coming on, whether you're watching it right now or you're watching or listening to it on the replay, again, I would say good morning. I would show gratitude just for being here and being in this space. For those that's listening to it right now on the podcast, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor, as well as Facebook Podcasts. I definitely appreciate you for being here. So we're going to do something that I haven't done in a while. Just give thanks to the listeners who are out there just listening in the podcast space. So, of course, in the U.S., thank you for listening. India, thank you. Italy, South Africa, Germany, Nigeria, Puerto Rico, United Kingdom, Canada, South Korea, Indonesia, Singapore, Kenya, thank you. Russia, thank you. France, thank you. United Arab Emirates, thank you. Netherlands, thank you. Pakistan, appreciate you. Australia, thank you. Algeria, thank you. Morocco, Mexico, New Zealand, thank you. Ireland, thank you. Turkey, Slovenia, thank you. Libya, thank you. Dominican Republic, thank you. Austria, appreciate you. U.S. Virgin Islands, thank you. Thailand, thank you. Ethiopia, thank you. And Malaysia, thank you. Appreciate you for listening from the geographical locations, platforms. Apple Podcast, thank you, is killing it. 59% of listeners is listening to it on the Apple Podcast. I appreciate you. Podbean, I don't know what Podbean is, but I think I will look it up. So I'll add the distribution to Podbean. Web browser, those who listening to it on a computer, Spotify, and other. Definitely thank you for listening, because you can listen on so many different platforms. So pick and choose which one that you want. Peace. Good morning, Miss Latricia. I'm sure that's my sister out there. Her birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday to you. That's my oldest sister. She was like second mom. There was a babysitter to a certain point. Who was in, I think, Canada. I think you're still in Canada. If you are, whatever they say, good morning. If they say good morning, I still say good morning, whatever. All right. So what I want you to do right now inside the chat, I want you to put the word step. I don't want you to put first step yet until you understand first step. So put the word step inside the chat, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Step. STP, step. That's what we're going to be stepping in, or stepping in that particular direction. That's where we're going today. So put the word step inside the chat, and let's go ahead and begin this process to talk about step, because I've learned something today about the word step, just like I've learned something every time I'm beginning to pull these lessons out, because it's really an aha moment some of the times, or a lot of the times, because again, like I always say, as I'm also learning and listening. So this is an interactive conversation. Peace. Good morning, Ms. Smith. How are you doing? I pray that all is well with you. So let's go ahead and take this plunge into step. Push this screen for you. All right, let's go. All right, so for those who may be new to the platform, you're going to see definitions, and then I'm going to invert definitions, whether I'm speaking about red over white, white over red. When I give the color, that is the color, the emphasis that I want you to pay attention to, that I want you to hone in on, because I've learned something about step, about process, about progress. And I want you to learn those things as well, but also see it how you see it, because it's not just about what you listen to, but it's about what you learn and how you learn in continuing those things that you do when you learn within your process. All right. So the very first definition of step, it says a put it inside the chat, because a lot of times what happens is people come back on the replay, because not everybody's going to get up at 7:30. They come back on the replay and they, you know how you do it too. I'm sure it's not just me. When you look at somebody's live or you look at somebody's post, you go straight to the comments just to see what people say. They're going to do the same thing for you. So the things that resonate with you, go ahead and put it inside the comments, because I mean, people like comments. I know you do too. All right. So the definition of measure, it says, definition of step, it says a measure or action, especially one of a series taken in order to deal with or achieve a particular thing. That is the first definition of step. A measure or action, especially one of a series taken in order to deal with or achieve a particular thing. And the color that I want you to pay attention to today, the inversion on this is white over red, which is a measure or action, especially one. That means the steps that you take, you have to ensure that they are done in order for you to take action. Meaning, if your steps are ordered, that means you have taken the proper measures to go in a direction that you're striving to go to. That means you're doing just enough. You're doing enough studying. You've done enough research. You've done enough, you've done enough crying, right? Sometimes the steps that you take are you walking away or walking out of something. So you've measured it. You've measured how much you no longer want to feel that way. So now you're taking that step towards or away from. So a measure or action, especially one of a series taken. One of a series taken, meaning after I have taken my first step, now my question, the task, that does not mean that the work is over. That does not mean that the work is done. It is what's next, especially one of a series taken. How many series of steps have you taken that you know that you can continue to do? I can continue to show love. I can continue to keep studying. I can continue throughout my process. I can continue to forgive. Why? Because you know that, especially in a direction that you are striving to grow into or go into, there are a series of steps that has to take place. Now, this is just coming from the definition, but giving it so many different steps and analogies to allow you to measure the steps or the next thing that you do, right? So let's go into the next definition of step. Now, today's not going to be long, but because I just want to step in and step back out just to allow you to see things just from a different perspective. All right, so the definition. So the inversion on this is red over white. So it says a gradual process, taking a particular course of action. So if this definition says a measure or action, and this definition says a gradual process, that means that every step that you take or every goal that you have that you want to achieve, it is a gradual process. It means it is not always going to happen when you want it to, but gradually it will. Even if it do not, you have learned a lesson along the way. And I think a lot of times that's where we feel as if we failed at something because it didn't happen when we wanted it to. But you have to understand there is a gradual growth that happens after the lessons are learned, or there is a gradual growth process after you have after you fell on your face, right? So it says a gradual process. So I'm gonna teach you something about process that I've learned myself today. uh I didn't like that noise. Now the thing that I've learned, And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put it out there. However you receive it is how you receive it. So you have the word process, process. It is a process because the way I look at it, the steps in life is really a decision. It's not a direction, right? It's a series. That's why it says a series. Let me go back. That's why it says a series taken, because it's not really a direction. That means you're making a series of decisions. You're making a series of choices. But the process is really the direction. So if I am going to go and seek the measures and the steps that I'm going to take in order for me to go and to start a business, or to go and to show forgiveness, or to go and to make changes in the workplace, I have to understand that there is a gradual process, but the process is truly the direction, not the step. The step is the choice that you made to go do it. It is the choice, or what you chose to take action on, or what you have chosen to take action with. A gradual process. Now, the way I'm looking at process, I want you to look at it this way too. I mean, you can. However you accept it, you accept it. However you deny it, completely up to you. But you have process and you have progress. What is the thing that is consistent between the word process and progress? Those three words, PRO, pro. Are you doing it for you? Are you doing it for something that is within your favor? That's why it's the process. I want you to look at step as a choice or decision that I make, but the process, it is something that I'm doing that is for me. It is something that I'm doing that is done within, for my favor, for my good. My process was done and it is continued to be done because I want it to be worked within and for my favor. My process was made because of the decisions that I made to actually continue. I think when we acknowledge how important the decision that need to be made uh, with taking the first step, I think we really begin to acknowledge that a process is the continued action of the first step that was taken, right? Because you've done it for you. You've done it because it was something that was done in your favor. It was per my decision to make this process because it was something that was needed to be done and made for me. It was for you. It was a gradual decision that you made. Now, even if it was a gradual decision, something that you didn't make immediately in that moment, so what? A lot of times we can't be forced to make decisions. Now, again, I'm speaking out loud. I'm talking to me just as well as I'm speaking out in the open. How you receive it is how you receive it. Sometimes decisions that we make are not made for us. Sometimes the decision that we make are made because it is the right, and it was the right measure that needed to be done in order to what? In order to eventually take those series of steps. Now, you as the individual, you have to decide, what is the process that I'm going to take today? What is a process that I need in order for me to accomplish this thing? Progress. Progress is a culminating event from the series of steps taken. gradual process, meaning there was a lesson after the first step was taken, right? So let's begin to take this deep dive, and then I'm going to go after that. So, taking the first step is a decision. It can be a decision that can be one of the hardest life-changing decisions that you will ever make, only after you have taken the first step, right? Only after that. Taking the first step it's kind of like faith, right? Because if it says it's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, sometimes you don't know or can see where the first step is coming from, but you are willing to risk it and you are willing to make that opportunity for yourself just to take the first step. Remember, the first step is not a direction. The first step is a decision. The first step is you choosing to do that which what you have measured before you've actually taken that first step, because it's something that you've done for you that is pro you in the process. So Martin Luther King says something about faith. He said, faith is taking the first step even when you do not see the staircase. Now, when I first seen that quote, I was like, wow, that's deep. It's just like walking with your eyes closed. You got the guardrail and you feel yourself either ascending or descending up the stairs or down some stairs, but you know it's some stairs, but you don't know how many steps that are on the staircase, but you know that I have to go ahead and take these steps in order for me to create progress for myself. So I am going to have the faith to know that when I take this step, as I progress up the stairs or progress down the stairs, I'm committed to the process. So therefore, I am going to keep stepping and I'm going to continue to make these decisions, even when I don't see the staircase. But I can acknowledge the staircase is there. Why? Because I'm measuring it out. I'm measuring it out. I feel the rail. And as I walk, I feel the continuance of the rail. So therefore, it feels right. It sounds right. It feels as if there is more to it. So I'm risking every time I take the step. Okay, it's still going up. All right, I took a step and I feel myself rising. So I'm going to continue that process. I'm going to continue the series of decisions that I need to make in order for me to complete the task, or in order for me to achieve that particular goal. So I am committed to the decision that I made to take the risk, to keep stepping, to accomplish, to keep stepping along the journey, to keep stepping in order for me to get to that end state. So I have faith, even if I don't see the staircase, that at the end of my final steps, I am going to be where I ultimately want to go because I have made the decision to take the first step. I have formalized inside of my head that every step that I take away from my fears, but I'm walking towards the goal that I have set. I'm walking towards my progress because I'm doing it for me. It is pro right. It is pro my decision. It is pro my choice. It is something that is for me to accomplish that goal. So therefore, the first step has to be taken, which is the decision to do it. Process is a decision. Progress is the decision, just like continued progress. So it's like sometimes making the first step is like battling between that thing that's convenient or the moment that's convenient. Stepping today. I don't feel like making this first decision today. But what if you not making that first decision is really detrimental to the decisions for the rest of your life? Right? So making the convenient thought and to go through the inconvenient moments. Because if I want to make a step in a direction that I ultimately want to go to, I have to push through it even in the moments of inconvenience. Even in the moments of making those hard choices, even in the moments of making those hard decisions. You still have to decide, is today your day to step? You still have to decide, is today your day to make that decision for you to walk out, or to make that decision for you to walk in a direction that is progressive for you to make. Because most people want the convenience of success, but they're not willing to even make those decisions during the difficult times, when the inconvenience of the failures. Or we want the success and the things that come with it because it feels convenient. You want to go buy certain things or be around certain people because that comes with success, right? That comes with success. So you feeling good, you shrugging your shoulders, feeling good about yourself, you smelling yourself, because all that stuff is now convenient to you because now you felt accomplished. So now you can go out and get those things. But what happened when you fall and you hit that wall and you scrape your knee and it feels like it's real inconvenient now, and people talking to you and they're asking how you doing? It feels real inconvenient to you, and you want to say that they're speaking to you during the times that you don't feel like talking. But what if you don't have the chance to communicate anymore? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? Because you still have to take a step. You still have to take a movement that's going to go forward. Do you have the patience during the inconvenient failures to take the first step, even after you've fallen on your face? Do you have the patience during the inconvenient failures for you to forgive even yourself, even after you fell on your face, to stand yourself back up and to take that step forward and to do it because it is a part of the process? It is something that is done for you, and it's a part of the progress because that is something that you need to do based on a decision that you know you need to make, which is take that first step. All right. Hey, take the first step, right? Take the first step and do it for you. Take the first step and acknowledge that it needs to be done. Because remember, the first step is the decision, the action. But the direction is the process. The direction is the progress. And as you begin to process those things and as you begin to progress in life, then you duplicate those actions over and over and over again. You will learn as you go. You will learn as you grow. Take the risk. Don't be afraid of the failures, because the failures is the part of the process, because the failures happen during the most inconvenient moments. Stop living in yesterday, because yesterday is not coming back. I don't care what you did yesterday. Show me what you're doing now. Show me the steps that you've taken in order for you to get to where you are now. Because the steps that you've taken or that you take in your today will build towards your tomorrow. Now, the things that you've done yesterday is a part of the history. Yes, it's good to know history, but it's also even better to forecast the direction that you're going, to forecast your process, to forecast your progress. Why? Because even in the steps, it says to measure. You can measure your tomorrow by what you do today. All right, that's enough. Hey, yeah, episode 99. So tomorrow's episode 200. Yeah. All right. Man, y'all be blessed. Y'all be blessed. What'd you say, Miss Kilpatrick? What'd she say? Not the destination, but a small piece of the journey. Okay. The small piece of the journey is still a part of the process. Like she said, those steps can speak volumes when you reach the destination. Those can be your lessons learned. Those can be the aha moment. Now you can help other people climb because you've already climbed. Don't talk to me if you haven't climbed any stairs and you're trying to teach me how to climb. It's like, how are you going to teach me how to climb if you've never climbed before? I think we can pull more people up and more people out after we have climbed ourselves. Don't be afraid to climb, because remember, it takes one decision to take the first step. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. And remember, tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. I'm your host, Mr. R2, and y'all be blessed. Peace.